Welcome to MachismoTV, the ultimate destination for modern men seeking to upgrade their lifestyle. Our channel covers a range of topics including current events, fitness, personal development, and technology to help you look, feel, and live your best life. Tune in for actionable advice and engaging discussions. We the willing, led by the unknowing, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much, with so little for so long, we are now qualified to do anything, with nothing.
So join up. Do your part. There's a long war ahead, and we need you. So join up. Do your part. There's a long war ahead, and we need you.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it? Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
About how we can better ourselves and further ourselves, further your mind, you know what I'm saying?
How you gonna wear my shorts when the last one
Let's be clear. This is
How you gonna be in your love when the bed don't sleep?
invasion.
Deep, crash your feelings in the middle of the street. Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the hoes was at. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the bros was at. 3:30 in the morning, scroll through the call up. Ain't nobody but the mirror looking for the fall off. I love when you count me out. 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 My name is in your mouth.
Alright, might be about you. Next run, right, might be about you.
Conductor. Welcome to the new gold era. Yo. This that purple technique for Cody vibes. Hey yo. Imagine getting murdered with the case in the South Village. It sure is. Yeah. DJ Drama.
Hey yo, I'ma take it back to the ski mask Chanel. So yo, with my mail, I can never fail. I can be through you, I can tell you a tell. You ain't never ate rules, Chris in a cell. Everything grab, you moving at a pace of a snail. Supreme clientele, cause my cocaine pal is wrapped on the height. My dope house well with Egypt, reading Portland's Carter doing well on a mountain.
Claim my position in the kitchen, I'm working. Whip it, bag of half and 50s, hit the strip and I serve it. If it's an issue, trust, I'm coming to get with you in person. With the extender throwing at you till I flip this Suburban. All my businesses flourish, I'm on my way to my yacht. I put a 6 on the dock like Julius Irvin. Damn, I know my nigga's sisters is hurting. He caught new case, but got his sentences concurrent. That ain't get him discouraged. Got another homie in prison for murder. He will let his gun clap and fire at anyone that will try. Watching this baby mother's cry, I got numb, I can't lie. His mama ain't shed a tear, she know that come with his line. Thought about it, his kids was young when son got the time. Won't see his daughter graduate, can't teach his son how to drive. Not to see where I get this ambition from and this drive, the machine. I'm iller than anyone that's alive. Look, bought the Benz truck and the Maybach with no license. Straight from dealership, not from the auction with the low prices. A long way from selling white and running from the polices. You niggas know who flow nicest. Raise the bar like coke prices. Fronted the homie, caught the joint, he stopped answering. Then my nigga since grammar school, I don't know how to handle it.
Olive green valley, windbreaker to wet my taste buds. Y'all hate niggas praying for table crumbs. Damn, y'all looking bad, y'all might be mistaken for bums. My first thought was to put some spare change in your cup. Here's a blanket, at least you'll be covered up. I'm becoming numb, I don't feel the love at night, I hug my guns. Might touch you with the same razor I used to cut my drugs. Homie use blazing made for shaving son. Stainless, the air is white like Shayla Buff, I waited. Lipo sucked the plug, left weightless. Niggas on the waiting list, look at your greater wig, what's that, a wave kit? Listen baby, don't shake the ship, please. Still a assist, shit scaring away the fish. I'm a player, son, I'm just here sharing game with pimps. Bitch tried to throw a big monkey wrench in my Benz vent. I find it interesting, I was chilling just when they thought the engine went. I still did it big. Pick of the litter, but ain't no kittens here. I'm like Huey Newt sitting in the king's wicked chair with the pistol near. My face is chiseled in the silverware with care. Spilling Bel Air on the thread I wear. I'm a threat out here. You better not let the cat out for air, yeah. I'm a threat out here. You better not let the cat out for air, yeah.
I used to think about the people in your life. Then I think of Neil. And then you were sitting there right now when you say to me, you say, John, what's it about?
Yeah, I ain't no Superman businessman like you. You know, I'm just a gangster, I suppose.
The butcher coming, nigga. I won't shake your boss hand or kneel to the Pope. Me and Duffel like Gotti and Neil de la Croce. They cry crocodile tears when they broke. I'm tucking eagles in my belt and putting crocodile skin on a coat. Cutting bills from a sealed envelope. Niggas got 2 feet in the game and still don't got no idea how I go. As always, I only did what I know. Instincts start kicking in when the meat on your ribs getting low. Streets got a dark side to 'em, I watch for the double cross. They threw the triple at me, this made me trigger happy. Streets made me business savvy. Yeah, the bosses of all bosses, capo the tootie cappy. Let's start there, look how we started, now the vets all peers. And now I don't gotta cash a check all year. Let's address your fears, order your nightmare, just your ears. Throw jabs but can't protect your chins. I thought more of my enemies, it'd be hard to avoid a hater.
On decorations. But the white boys had told all them French gals that we had tails. Then they found this ignorant colored soldier. Paid him to tie a tail to his ass and run around half naked making monkey sounds. They put him on a big round table in the Cafe Napoleon. Put a reed in his hand, crown on his head, blanket on his shoulders, and made him eat bananas in front of all them Frenchies. Oh, the white boys danced that night. Passed out leaflets with that boy's picture on it. Called him Moonshine, King of the Monkeys. And when we slit his throat, you know that fool asked us what he had done wrong.
Country shot.
My daddy told me we got to turn our backs on this kind, Wilkie. Close our ranks to the chitlins, the collard greens, the cornbread style. We are men, soldiers, and I don't intend for our race to be cheated out of its place of honor and respect in this war.
The pupils burn from the gaze of the sunlight. Trying to go legit this time with no gunfight. Straight flights to Ghana. My man got the gold connect. Bow-legged dude with chicks on deck. He got Navy sailors moving their crypto specs. Maybach Hummer, sound like a discotheque. His brother Stan blew off his own hand. He's in the mausoleums, couldn't show his wrist back on. It's in the Coliseum. The monster's out, straight down in the opera house. Scorpion pendant, red stone in a lobster mouth. Diamonds embroidered in the Chinaware. Speaking through Tesla phones, tucked behind the ear, Snow White Royce, guts red with lasagna chairs. Scarface party was raw with mad lines in there. Everybody holding, rock wallers, mad nines in there. Hitters with gold fronts frontin', was the concierge. 50 years of hip hop, New York is the mascot. City is the backdrop. One more, you can holler at me. You can holler at me.
That I gotta be the best of all. That's just cut and dried.
I'm the best. Whether you like it or not, you're looking at, the greatest, the best looking man, the best dressed man. Long limousines, jet airplanes, custom made clothes, and any woman in the world I want, just like that. You know why? Let's face it, if you're not carrying the big gold, you're second best no matter what you tell yourself. So gear up, ladies and gentlemen. Get used to it. Who you're looking at, the man.
The almighty, the legendary West Side.
Follow thy name.
Fly God himself.
You're looking at the man.
Here's another classic. The definition of hip hop. Here's another classic. The definition. Chemistry. Here's another classic. The definition of hip-hop. Here's another classic.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do.
Yo, 1 2 1 2, what it do? We in the building. What's up, people? Salute to the chat. Yo, Detroit, I got your email, man. I got your email. I'm gonna send that shit to you either after the show or in the morning. Yo, what up to my panel? Let me get a sound check. Saul, Tito.
Yeah, what up?
Mike check.
All right, we good. Oh, you got mad echo. Hold on, let me mute you for a second. So now we good. Shit. Let's just get down to it, man. Let's not waste no time. Yo, salute to everybody in the chat. Music Man, Detroit. I seen Kwame up in here. Revelator, what up, man? Mr. O, I guess you're gonna drop by later. You was backstage earlier. Champ First was in here first. Universal Black, and I seen an Elizabeth. Welcome to the chat. All right, let's get down to it. Let me get opening statements real quick, and then we some house cleaning with regard to this BGS stream. Saul, opening statement, sir.
Nobody has a monopoly over black male thought, black male intellectualism. Nobody's the police of it. You know what I mean? Nobody has a right to bottleneck and, determine that they're the sole, would you say, curator of what people, think, what people say, what people do. BGS doesn't like it, man. Don't do it to us. I'm at least start with that.
There you go. Tito, opening statement.
I'm going to just leave y'all with this, man. Always understand that one key trait of somebody that means you no good, of a nigga that's on some bullshit or a bitch that's on some bullshit, is an inflexible mind. And I'll land my plane there.
Damn, well played. Okay, we're coming in hot. All right, let's just get down to it. We got to cover at least two segments as time permits We're definitely going to do this TPS with the Haitians because the delineation is in full effect, and this Trump MAGA policy with revoking the protective custody falls right in line with the delineation. I'm here for it, and we're going to talk some about Democrats starting to cannibalize themselves with the far right socialist, damn near communist movement that they got going on in a party, and it looks like they might be targeting Hakeem Jeffries. Love to see it. Civil war on the Democrat side, good to go. But let's knock this BGS stream that he did out of the way off at the top. Let me start off by saying this: MachismoTV is a brand. It is a network. It is a conglomerate of creators, and we are a distribution node. That's what we're known for: promoting other people's channels, clipping them up, etc., pushing the lexicon further out and broadening the audience, making it hip and something more in tune with the current zeitgeist of the day, as it were. That being said, Saul and I had this conversation long before we actually started making content, and one of my key observations was that, this is when I was in the chat. Saul coined the term chair throwing, and I'm gonna take about 3 to 5 minutes for this term to coin chair throwing. And one of the things I noticed is when people were going back and forth, Angry Man in particular, I used Angry Man as an example. He would be mad, upset when people would be coming at him and shit. And I realized that a lot of these people was taking things so personal and everything because, their monikers were who they were personally. And I said, okay, if we're going to get in here and do this, we're going to make a brand. So it's far more difficult to attack a brand. I am not MachismoTV. MachismoTV is a brand. I am simply a producer. So have at it. That being said, in full disclosure, I actually didn't listen to the stream. The BGS was right, etc., which speaks to itself. Matter of fact, it popped up it wasn't even in my notifications. I didn't even get the mention, but I did pop in there for about 10 minutes. And when I popped in, he was reviewing a MSNBC clip to make his point. And then I put in the chat, like, if you're using MSNBC, your reference point to make your argument, good luck with that. And then I stayed for a little bit longer, and then I believe I put in the chat, narrative shaping is not an argument. The word of the day is multivariable analysis. But that being said, oh boy, was real hype. I guess, I've been playing the debate with him and Tito on Iran. I've been playing it almost every day for several months. I guess it finally done got up under his skin. So, I mean, I know we got a crossover audience, but no one's even said anything to me about it for the most part. So I'm not even sure too many people actually even saw it. But if you did miss it, here's a 12-second summary pretty much about what the whole stream was.
Oh my God, it fucking hurts! Goddamn son of a bitch!
So that's pretty much a summary of the whole stream, like mild TDS. It seems to me he's more concerned about being right, and if your whole argument and if you being right means that the mainstream media, which we all think is propaganda at that point, is that they agree with you, well, have at it. That's on some like Captain Obvious shit. You know what I'm saying?
I've always found you don't know you need a hotel room until you're sure you do.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Exactly what I expected.
Definitely more murdery than the reviews said.
This is a creepy room.
Oh, hey, Captain Obvious.
Instead of people who lie on the internet.
Look, a finger.
That's unsettling.
You think?
All the time. Except when I sleep. Which I would not do here.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mr. O did send me the link when it was live. But so I sent it to Saul, I sent it to Tito, and this is the point I want to make. So I called Tito, ended up calling me. He was working on the car, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And as far as I know he did a partial response to it on Friday, but he didn't even play the stream all the way through. I'm not even sure if Saul's heard the stream all the way through. Other than the 10 minutes when I was actually in the stream, the longest I heard of the actual stream was what Tito played. And that goes to my point. It's a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? I will say this. If it was 2020, 2022, perhaps BGS's opinion about something and even adding us on his main channel, by the way, not one of his secret scroll channels where he responds to Tito, although not responding to the actual arguments Tito makes against him when he roasts him. He does that on his secret scroll channel. He gave us the main channel. But my point is, if it was 2022, maybe it would kind of be a big thing. Oh, snap, BGS has an opinion about something. But on this side, I'm not sure that any of us actually listened to it all the way through. And that speaks to the point. Not as compelling as it would have been. And that speaks to perhaps why his panties are in a bunch, because the sphere of influence has shifted. Yesterday's price is not today's price, unfortunately. Now, that being said, the debate was between Tito and BGS, not myself. Saul has made the analogy that is akin to the BGS's right stream at MachismoTV is akin to a boxing match. You don't like the outcome of it, so you attack the ref. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get to how we actually got to this whole Iran debate in the first place. But if any of you have actually listened to the debate, a lot of the arguments that I heard him make with the brief amount of time that I was there don't even coincide with the arguments that he made during the debate. He's doing the "in hindsight, I was right" thing. You know what I mean? That reminds me of the South Park skit, Captain Hindsight.
Wait! Look! Up in the sky! It's him! My God, it's really him! He's come to help us! Captain Hindsight!
Who's Captain Hindsight?
Captain Hindsight, the hero of the modern age. Once known as Jack Brolin, a reporter for the national news, the hero was born when a freak accident gave him the amazing power of extraordinary hindsight. From toxic spills to unjust wars, there is no task too large for Captain Hindsight. Captain Hindsight, thank God you've come. What's the skinny? There's people trapped in that burning building, Captain Hindsight, and the fire is so massive we can't get to them. You see those windows on the right side? They should have built fire escapes on those windows for the higher floors, then people could have gotten down. And then on the roof, they should have built it with a more reinforced structure so a helicopter could have landed on it. Yes, of course. And then you see that building to the left? Yes, they shouldn't have built that there, because now you can't park any fire trucks where you really need to. Well, looks like my job here is done. Goodbye, everyone!
Thank you, Captain Hindsight! Thank you! All right, everyone, I guess that's it. Let's pack it up.
That's BGS in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? And the title of his stream was like, BGS is right. So once again, we haven't watched the stream because it's inconsequential. Everyone's entitled to his opinion. He's just a dude with an opinion. He is not the arbiter of truth. You know what I'm saying? And speak to the person who you're upset about. You're upset because the general public did not overwhelmingly say that you won the debate with Tito. The general consensus was that it was a good debate for the public good to have people talking about. And you're the one that had your panties in a bunch when even in your own Patreon, the person that's a member of your own Patreon didn't say you won. He said you both had good points. So the whole stream, DGS was right. This is essentially what my gist of what the entire stream was. It's like the Seinfeld, I'm the Wiz.
I'm the Wiz.
What about your fact-checking job?
Oh, here's the fact. I'm the Wiz.
I'm the Wiz and nobody beats me.
And he's right because the mainstream media agrees with him, or he agrees with the mainstream media. If that's the case, just watch The View. So once again.
Oh my God, it fucking hurts! Goddamn son of a bitch!
Now, last and final, how do we get here with this whole Iran thing? The only reason we even had an Iran debate is because you dragged yourself into my chat X amount of months ago. We were doing our Sunday show. We had a segment on the Iran war. Tito was talking, and then you insulted Tito in the chat. You two started going at it. You were like, drop me a link. And I'm like, no, you're not coming up on the panel disrupting my show. I got a planned show. I got segments, and I'm on a time schedule. I said, but a public debate between Tito and yourself would probably be good for conversation's sake. And if both parties were willing, I would organize it, moderate it in a neutral place. Soon after that stream, Tito said he wanted to do a debate. I got in touch with BGS via email. I was very polite, very cordial, and then we struck a gentleman's agreement that it would be I would moderate it. Everyone would get an equal amount of time. He could bring his own moderator. A gentleman's agreement, and I agreed that both of you would deal with each other cordially. Marcus of Queensberry rules. Gentleman's agreement. They had the debate. During the course of the debate, you're the only one that threw ad hominem. If you re-listen to the actual debate, you can hear me say to him, to BGS, that's not necessary. There's no need to insult him. And then he goes, I didn't insult him. I'm like, bro, we can play the tape back. Debate's over. I never at any time, because I'm the impartial moderator and I moderated the debate, it's improper under a gentleman's agreement for me to say who won. I left it to the public to decide. You've never heard me say on air who won the actual debate. I simply said that I thought that it was a good debate and it was good discourse. You're the one that was bitter. You're the one that was lying and say that we begged you for the debate and such. For your ego, for your listeners, your group of sycophants with everything. It's in poor taste, and it's dishonorable and duplicitous at best. And that's why we are at where we are at. And I will say this: if this was your idea all on your own, complete fucking misstep. And if the people around you gassed you up to do this and put the battery in your back, perhaps, maybe they just lined you up, homie. And you could add us as much as you want, this, that, and the other, but your credibility is shot over here. All yours, Saul.
My take is, there's been kind of this, dissent or whatnot. You know what I mean? He's been warned about chaos and weirdos and people in the space or whatnot. It seems as though there's more time invested in tearing down other black men who are having intellectual discourse about stuff than there is promoting them or whatnot. Ain't nobody gonna beg you to promote you, but this is just simply an observation. You know what I mean, right? MachismoTV, we stand alone. We have a niche audience. Those that like us, like us. Those that don't, whatever. But what I mean by that is you coming over here, you know, shitting on our couch or whatnot, but it seems like you are extra deferential to the likes of May, right? People who are known chaos makers. You know what I mean? Right? You know, exchanging reading diaries or whatever you do, man. Take that shit over there, man. You know what I mean? You have no monopoly over intellectual discourse here, whatnot, and don't nobody need the white man's credentials. And if you're worried about that, I have plenty of them or whatnot. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? That sort of bottlenecking, Highlander syndrome, the very ego and the very things that you actually spoke of, a lot of the concepts that you added to the lexicon, ironically, seems as though when it comes to behavior, you're talking about yourself, right? You know, we've been by a mission statement since the inception of this channel, and you can hold us to that. That is empiricism, collaboration, and actionable steps. You know what I mean, right? And so in the spirit of that, we're pretty neutral to a lot of the stuff in the space. You know what I mean? We didn't care nothing about no factions or anything like that. You know, there was major factions and things like that, people that didn't get along with each other. And we've all had people on these panels at some time or another to promote intellectualism, to promote collaboration, to promote actionable steps or whatnot. You know what I mean? Actually, we were some of the first people in the space, at last I remember, to actually talk about politics on a domestic scale, and that we don't have to sit here and think about fatalism or defeatism, and that we do have our own destiny at our own helm as Black men, rather than, you know, the sort of, you know, predeterministic fashion of, hey, you know what? We're behind enemy lines in this white man's world, and ain't shit you could do about it, but you know what I mean? Sit around, go monk mode, and jack off to some Jergens bottles and eat Cheetos. Nah, that ain't in us to do that, man. So as far as I'm concerned, man, you lost credibility on your own doing this stuff, man. If you're looking for a panel or other people, you know, to be sycophants, you got plenty over there, man. You know what I mean? You don't need us for that. I'll land my plane there.
Yo, that's all yours, Tito.
Yeah, and all of the hullabaloo and I guess kind of I wouldn't even say excitement of people talking about the debate, because it was kind of anticlimactic. I think that perhaps maybe not to speculate too far as to other people's thoughts or emotions, but they probably thought that it was gonna be like, you know, where it was gonna be some big gotcha moment where he was gonna destroy me. I don't know what people thought, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people were clamoring for the debate, and a lot of people did watch the debate. But irregardless of whatever point you want to bring from MSNBC and talk about the economy, or talk about the aftermath, or talk about how bad Iran was militarily beaten, or how intact their military is, and all of that shit, none of that, all of that is immaterial. There's this movie that they made back in 1993 called The Day After. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it. It was a TV movie that had got presented on ABC, and it was so terrifying that ABC actually had to have a crisis hotline for people to call in, because it was about nuclear war. And they made a point in the movie where they didn't have it on some coastal city or something. The movie was set in Manhattan, Kansas. So if you really think about it, that's right close. That's basically in the neighborhood of the geographic center of the United States, right? And so they placed it there to make a point that this is complete destruction. You're not going to be able to hide in some rural place on middle America from nuclear war. If nuclear war comes, it's total war. It comes everywhere, right? Right. And that movie, the Soviets said that it was American propaganda to make it look like the Soviets was aggressive. And then the certain people in the Reagan administration said that it was, you know, undercover communist propaganda made by Hollywood people to undermine the American cause and all of that. So it was so crazy that both sides thought it was propaganda, right? And the advertisers put it. The movie was controversial as hell, right? The movie was crazy. They even threatened to fire the director, and he threatened to sue for breach of contract unless they took a whole hour out of it, because they showed like real bad, like really convincing makeup of people that have been, had their bodies mangled by the nuclear war in this movie. And actually the extras that they used that have been injured was real amputees. They just covered up their stumps with latex and all of that. So the movie was crazy, right? And the movie was so crazy that Reagan screened it in the White House, and then that's when he came up with them strategic arm, the SALT 1 and SALT 2 treaties, was because of that movie, right? So irregardless of whatever argument, whatever tangential argument you want to make about how the economy is bad, how much gas went up, the price of this, the price of that, fuck all of that. The reason that it happened was counter proliferation. That is the central fucking argument supporting that war. It don't matter what political side you own. It don't matter how much you don't like Israel, how big of a conspiracy theorist you are talking about Goy slop this and that. It don't matter. You can't be more angry about any of that shit than you are adamant about being able to fucking breathe when you go outside. Okay? You can't be more adamant about that shit. So if people want to say it's a tie, fuck it, it's a tie. But enjoy your air the next time you go outside. And I'll land my plane there.
All right, well played. That's what I said. Just like that. Just like that. And that's a. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried to get myself worked up about it, but it just shows that the impact of the opinion these days. It's like, okay. But speaking of movies, Steele did mention the movie. In light of all of this, this whole fiasco or debacle, or with this Iran thing, it does remind with BGS, it does remind me of a movie. They made a movie a while ago called No Country for Old Men. All right, let's start.
Hey, that jump. Hey, run that back.
fucking light work. Straight up, Kwame, these old Negroes gotta go. I mean, that's pretty much, he's turned himself into it's a boomer channel. You know what I'm saying? We need the 45 down to 25 demographic, bro. Yo, Mr. O, let me know when you want to pop up here. You said,
hey, you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? It's such a pleasure to be in Generation X, where the biggest beef motherfuckers got against us is that we still wear fitted Yankee caps and look fly doing that shit.
Straight up. Bro, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, all credibility is shot. Duplicitous is the best way I could describe it. And like I said, in an old boomer fashion, talking behind motherfuckers back, lying and everything. When like I said, This is the old school. You know what I'm saying? I arranged the duel. It was fought in public. It was fair. You know what I'm saying? And you take your loss and go home, homie. And like I said, as far as the public, like I said, I know as far as the public is concerned, everybody was just like they enjoyed the debate in and of itself, the back and forth. It was a cordial conversation. It was timed, no chair throwing, nobody over talking to each other, and that's generally what you be trying to do with content for the space. At least part of the mission for our channel, just quality discourse. This is season 9 of these Sunday conversations. We've been doing this for 9 seasons, and the influence is felt. So.
I got a question, man. Is this really about Iran?
That's what I'm saying.
Proximity? You hear me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is this really about Iran, or is this proxy for something else? Right? Could it be, how dare I be reduced down to some sort of discounted intellectual conversation to somebody I see as beneath me?
Facts.
Could it be, I've made comments and quotes about somebody being a black eye on a manosphere when in fact, you know what I'm saying? Tito, you know what I mean, was one of the forerunners of the black manosphere as we know it.
One of the best minds in the goddamn space.
Okay, and if you want to talk about people and people's records and stuff like that, we already know how the justice system is. We already know how, you know what I'm saying, one of the ways they could try to, you know what I mean, harm black men and black men in particular is a common way. But, obviously there's no sort of empathy or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And obviously there's been people, you know what I'm saying, believe it or not, that y'all have interacted with who's been accused of worse. Let's just be honest here. Right. So my thing is, I guess that because people aren't famous, right? Because people, you know what I'm saying, ain't got clout or money or this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? People want to try to have their opinions and stuff like that. So I say that, this is more about proxy than it actually is. What you thought that Tito was going to come over here and there was going to be some drama and it was going to be some factionism and this, that, and the other, like everybody else does. MachismoTV, we haven't had any infighting or no beef or no drama or no craziness or anything like that. You know what I mean? Intrinsically or outwardly, for the most part, right? Because when we started this channel with a mission statement, you know what I mean? Which we've already, talked about. And we've started it with the sort of general promotion of, black masculinity. In particular, we already got enough enemies. We already got the divestors, feminists, fruit mongers. The list goes on. You understand what I'm saying? So what other home or other place should anybody feel that they were at? You know what I mean? Right? Were you waiting for drama to happen? Were you waiting for beef to happen? Right? Because the word on the street is, you know what I'm saying? Certain individuals don't get along with nobody. Right? Was that what you were waiting on? Right? Ain't no deferential or no sycophantism over here, right? Ain't nobody, you know what I mean? No disrespecting. Nobody's begging Tito to be over or being sycophantic or any other stuff here. Nobody's doing any of that. You know what I mean? Right? Were you looking for any of that? Didn't happen, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Because all of the hard marks of what we preach, we actually do in real life. Some of these people preach about all this BS that happens to black men in the real world. Highlander syndrome, ego, you know what I'm saying? Self-defeat, so forth. The lack of brotherhood. Seems like, a lot of that kind of spilled its way into a place that's supposed to be promoting the best interests of us in the first place. We have no room for ego. We have no room for personalities. This is why we push the message. I'll land the plane there.
All right, spot on. I hear you, Quiet Storm. Now, like I said, was going to address it at the top of the hour. That's the round robin. And like I said, full disclosure, I haven't even listened to the whole stream. Like and I don't believe Tito has, or even Saul. Which moves to my point. If it were 2020, maybe 2022, people would we'd have been concerned about his opinion or something. But that goes to the point that yesterday's price ain't today's price. And like I said, for anybody who hasn't seen the stream, here is a 12-second summary of what you will hear.
Oh! 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 Oh my God! It fucking hurts! Ah! Goddamn son of a bitch!
And once let's get on with the show. Light work. All right, let's do black liberals losing their mind over this TCPS. Haitians gotta go, among other things. I'm gonna jump through this. We're gonna start with Steve Miller at the beginning. The White House Deputy Chief of Staff, everyone loves to hate. I like Steve Miller.
Where if you want asylum, then we will find a country elsewhere in the world to take you. It's very simple, a very elegant, a very complete solution.
Does the administration consider Haiti a safe country now?
For Haitians, absolutely.
For Haitians?
Yes. Yes, so yes, Haitians live in Haiti. It's not our position that Haitians should leave Haiti. I mean, it'd be crazy for us to say that Haitians couldn't live in Haiti. It's their country. Of course Haitians should live in Haiti.
It's just BS. Sorry, my take. What's yours?
Absolutely. And you know what? The inhumanity of it all, and coming from someone like Stephen Miller, and as you can see, even his uncle have been spoken publicly, the fact that he himself will not have been able to be here or survive due to the fact that their own family had to flee Eastern Europe in search of safety and protection. And the reality is we saw and we know that most of the cruel immigration policies have been coming from Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
The evil that continues to come from those people, we have to center that in the fact that we are dealing with deep anti-Black, anti-other racism and prejudice. And we have the proof to show.
Oh, they black now, huh? They're not Haitian. We're not dirty Americans. They're black now, huh?
And the word that continues to come out of Stephen Miller and people like him are the reason that we have to continue to fight to make sure that we get protection for people seeking safety and asylum, especially for those who are already in the United States under TPS. And I know the false narrative. It says temporary, yes. But people have to understand it is temporary based on current country conditions. And people tend to always leave the complete sentence out of why
1.3 million TPS holders.
TPS was given into the first place.
This is since 1990, bro. Time to go.
Currently,
if you ain't got your papers by now, time to go.
Haiti is in the worst place than it was in 2010 when it was first designated.
Boy.
So we got to talk.
We're going to jump fast.
Secretary Rubio, the president, and I have had multiple conversations about this. Obviously, the qualification isn't quite just that simple. And keep in mind, a lot of these individuals haven't been here 18 months. They've been here 18 years. Some of them been here 20 years, 30 years. They've had plenty of time to reestablish their status inside the United States. They just chose not to. Then there's some that has been here underneath the Biden administration that took advantage of an open border. And those individuals didn't really come over here because they needed protective status. They came over here because they were taking advantage of a weak leadership. So what we want, and the president has made this very clear, those that are coming to this country legally, they need to be able to contribute to the United States, not be a burden on the taxpayers. And so we are continuing looking at our temporary protected status. Those individuals that do need assistance because of the country they're in, we're always looking at them. There isn't a more generous country in the world than the United States, but we don't want people to take advantage of it.
Right. But do you maintain that it is safe in Haiti to send these people back?
Well, I think, like I said, Jake, this is a decision that's being made from the State Department, from myself and the president. And there's a lot of things that we look at when we take this in consideration.
And that temporary means temporary.
The thing that's crazy here, you have, and if you want to understand how MAGA thinks, you want to understand why they're thinking this way.
Roland's part Haitian, by the way.
All you have to do.
Why are their eyes always so far apart?
Racist Megyn Kelly, who showed her ass when she said this.
Oh, wait, actually, let Megan say it.
Over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half, you won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to fucking Haiti. Sorry. I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio who've been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now, who are drunk driving all over their towns and killing people. This is the whole cats and dogs thing. Like, they don't want to live like Americans live. And this was supposed to be it was supposed to be temporary help. And it's turned into another backdoor way of allowing someone permanent residency here. And they take advantage of all of our public services. And
let's just be real clear. Megyn Kelly is a fucking idiot.
Let me say something though. This whole heritage American thing that the Tucker and the Megyn Kellys and the Ann Coulters are talking about. That's them doing a play on the FBA thing. So when it's Megyn Kelly's talking about American, she's talking about FBAs too. That's my underpinning with that. But I just wanted enough for context. Let's do a round robin on this, and then we'll play some Roland Martin freaking out. Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go, Tito.
Yeah. First of all, the interesting part about the whole TPS that was voted in by the Congress back in 1990, if you don't remember, that had nothing to do with Haitians. Actually, the original TPS legislation had to do with the Guatemalans that had the indigenous Guatemalans that had just suffered atrocities under the regime of Carlos Rios Montt in the 80s.
Rios Montt. Tito, you be flexing on him. Tito be flexing him. Carlos Rios about fucking with you. That's dope. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's his real name. He used to be the dictator. Yeah.
Do that offhand like that is wild to me.
Yeah. And then the people in Sudan, the Black Christians in Sudan, and certain groups of Black Christians in Ethiopia. That's who the original and then selected groups of Somalians. The Somalians were the first one to abuse it wholesale, but those are the original groups that TPS was actually meant for, right? And Haitians just came in on the heels of it during the Biden administration and decided to, well, they have been abusing it too, citing earthquakes, citing gang violence, things that I really think that if they win the midterms, that they should try to repeal TPS once and for all. They should go ahead and go back to that legislation, revisit it, vote it down, and repeal it, because it only gets abused. We already have before that existing asylum laws that had a very narrow and specific group of qualifications. For instance, under the Biden administration, domestic violence is not a reason to receive asylum in somebody else's country. All you got to do probably is just move to a different part of your country. You know what I'm saying? Or get a boyfriend with some guns. I don't know what you can do, but it doesn't have anything to do with you running to a whole nother country. Like for all of the gnash and the teeth and wailing that they were, talking about the South Africans, the white South Africans, the Afrikaners that were coming over here, they actually did have a bona fide asylum case because they were being persecuted on the basis of race. And they were being deprived of their property on the basis of race in the throes of a quasi-communistic revolution over there in South Africa. But that's who the original TPS was for. These people are abusing it. And then with the Haitians in particular, they are fond of always beating their chest and talking about the 1804 revolution. We beat Napoleon and all of this shit. Like, why you can't do some of that shit in your own country? Why you can't reform your own country? Why you can't all of the money you claim you making here, why you can't send that shit back home for guns and hire some mercenaries, hire Blackwater or something and get that shit under control and set you up a commodities market for all of the coffee that you grow there, pave your fucking roads, institute new building codes for earthquake proof buildings and all of that shit. Why y'all can't do that shit instead of coming over here and fucking up all of these different landlords' properties because you don't want to clean up? Why y'all can't do that? And I'll land my plane there.
Yo, Mr. O, you there? Let me get a sound check.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah, shout out to the panel, shout out to the chat. Roland, your days as a so-called political pundit, analyst, or what have you, is almost over with. I believe that you're probably second generation Haitian American. I think you need to be watching your back, homeboy. I think you have fulfilled your purposes, not only in the nigger community, but also the Democratic linguistic you know what I'm saying, what you call them, Saul, mongers, fruit mongers. Yes. Megyn Kelly basically said the quiet part out loud for everyone in America to listen and hear from. Go back home, go back to your country. We can't say that as Black Americans because we already here. Like Tito said about 1804 with Toussaint Louverture. That seems like me being a White Sox fan, and I am a diehard White Sox fan. It's like me keep on celebrating 2005 when we won the World Series. That happened 21 years ago. I mean, y'all had y'all same thing almost 222 years ago. And y'all still got to pay a debt to so-called France. Y'all are literally the poorest country in the whole entire globe. Y'all national delicacy is literally mud cookies baked in a damn broken Coliseum on a pavement with little sugar and little butter. Y'all make y'all profit off of that bonbonne. And again, no dogs and cats haven't been harmed since a lot of them have been deported. Y'all remember that debacle? Trump has said they're eating the dogs and eating the cats. So the roof and the meow crowd are safer now. I'm gonna land my plane here with this. I'm gonna do a round robin on the BGS because it ties in with these old niggas also. BGS and the boomers are alike that think all this political hoopla y'all been spewing for the last couple of years, even a decade. Y'all got paid handsomely. I understand that. You got to keep on doing what your Democratic handlers tell you to do. But both of y'all are basically trying to go ahead and get them 10-inch or 11-inch shoes out y'all mouth because y'all bit more than y'all can chew. And I kind of land my plane there.
That was a funny ending. Hold on, I gotta do it now.
Oh my God! It fucking hurts! Goddamn son of a bitch!
Bolo wins. 50 animal.
Saw you, Playboy. Haitian TPS, it's all yours.
Hey, this is what you get when you waving them flags and parading around and work hard and you know you your best your quote unquote talent that left the country or whatnot. Y'all couldn't even parlay all that bullshit with the earthquake. Y'all ain't got none of that money. You know what I mean? You know, not even the people over here that's supposed to be Haitian ever want to go back, you know, to have a barbecue or be barbecue for that matter. You know what I mean? I'll say this much, man. Like, if it was so great over there, stay your ass over there. Don't whine about it. Don't complain about it or whatnot. Build your country up. You know what I mean? It was intended to be what it was intended to be. Temporary, you know? As far as this policy goes, you know, this is what they're crying about is fully exuding the means of executive power. And this is why the Supreme Court continues to go this way, right? When it comes to siding with Trump. This makes you beg the question whether or not this was kind of a gentleman's handshake where people are kind of quiet about, hey, you know what? This is just a ceremonial position. You keep a couple people happy. You do your 4 or 8 years, and that's it. That's all. You get Secret Service for life. You get your little presidential pension and this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? If nothing is told us, and nothing has ever told us before, that these people who were elected before wasn't doing shit. You would often hear the criticism that, oh, you can't run a public entity like you would a corporation. Well, yes, the fuck you can. Now people are looking for, you know, performance indicators and outcomes and, you know, saving money and stuff like that, seeing where things are going, where resources are being taken up. Haitians is just one group, right? Y'all learned y'all lesson. Cosplaying us, telling us we ain't got no culture, believing that you are Black, Frenchman, or whatever the case may be. I guess you're eating mud croissants or whatever the hell you getting. You know what I mean? Right? It's going to be somebody else the next week and the week after. Let's keep it coming. You know what I mean? Because y'all didn't believe that fat meat was greasy. Right? Most of them are so much into this damn white worshiping and stuff like that. When they come over here, they marry the first, you know what I'm saying, white person that they can get their hands on, as if they have an endless supply of UN rice around this bitch. You know what I mean? They really deify them people. You know what I mean? Poverty-minded, backwards, eating animals. Speaking of not only eating animals, they also worship them too. Right? You know what I mean? Think about how backwards that shit is. Something to say about the quote-unquote first Black Republic. And y'all ain't did shit since 1800. I'll land my plane there, man.
All right, well played. We're gonna do pardon me. We're gonna do enough.
I think that the South Sudanese, the Somalians, I think that they probably are next, as far as groups that have received temporary protective status. I think those are the groups that's next, because now it's not a revolution and an upheaval anymore in Sudan. The succession is complete, and now South Sudan is the world's newest newly minted country. And then with Somalia, it's not much civil war going on over there, so they're gonna, that's probably gonna end for them, and maybe select groups of Ethiopians too.
Man, it's about time. Like I said, if the future is a battle for resources, et cetera, and this is a clear case. If we want to whittle all the way down, about groups of people who have outworn their welcome. You know what I'm saying? And over the long run have turned out to be bad guests, aside from the few that have assimilated as such. And Godfrey is another one. Like, he showed his true colors on his propaganda Africa podcast. And like I said, these podcasts are coming up funded everywhere, and then all of these podcasts, Kiki Palmer's got a podcast, and they're all pushing things that are antithetical to things that are coming out of the Black manosphere, and antithetical to FBA or anything that doesn't support the Democrat agenda. All you got to do is pay close attention. Let's watch.
Hey, they always say, well, at least I have a country to go back home to. Well, go back home to that motherfucker.
Go back home to that motherfucker. Yeah. You got a country to go, and we're going to make sure that you get there. We're going to make sure that you get there. Time's up, motherfuckers.
Especially
go back home to Mr. Barbecue.
Exactly. No, we saying the same exact thing. Especially get on back with niggas named Barbecue. For real. You know? Yeah.
So yeah, all right, let's listen to Roland crash out a little bit. Oh, he's an interesting looking fellow.
And the reason she's a fucking idiot is because she just sat there and repeated the bullshit lie about cats and dogs. That was a story made up by a white woman who actually had her dog returned. It's a
dog. These people talk like they're internet that don't exist. Everyone has seen the footage of the woman eating the cat and the cops being called. We've seen the footage of the Haitians taking the ducks out of the ponds and everything. This is what I'm talking about. They really think they be operating like it's still mainstream television where they control all the information. Like, everybody got push notifications and sharing links, homie.
Bullshit lie. But not only that, it also shows you how this airhead so-called lawyer hasn't even read shit. Okay? She went on and on and on, Nicole, about, our culture. Heifer, let me explain something to you. The largest land purchase in the United States was a Louisiana purchase, which was a result of slave revolt in Haiti in 1804. You talk about culture? You don't have fucking culture, Megyn Kelly, without Haitians.
Wait, what? That shit's they walling out with this shit. Like, they gonna make me pull up AI. They walling out with this shit. They didn't even get here until like after that Hearts Act type shit. They be talking like they fought in the Civil War and all this shit. Like, they gotta get them the fuck out of here.
What the hell do you think New Orleans is?
Megyn Kelly unleashes racism against Haitians. She's trying to get her base back. Okay, the base of bigoted people. Here it is.
They don't want to live like Americans live. And this was supposed to be it was supposed to be temporary help. And it's turned into another backdoor way of allowing someone permanent residency here. And they take advantage of all of our public services.
Where do I start? Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly. Fox News doesn't even want you. You got let go. I think it was after you said that Santa Claus and Jesus were white.
Yo, this is what I'm talking about. See how these old niggas argue? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna throw insults at you. Go ahead, guys. Let me
start here. Let me start here.
Go ahead.
So first things first, okay? She said public service. I don't think people understand to the extent of infrastructural costs these people have when they come here, right? Do you know how much it costs, not even just for healthcare, but also for translation services? And when they get into these jobs and stuff like that, most of the jobs will say Haitian Creole speaker are bilingual and other things. You understand my point, right? We just got to call it what it is. And we talking about him or whatnot. And he's talking about insults and stuff. Isn't this the same guy who got fake degrees and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
What are we talking about? Right? You know what I mean? Hey, BGS, here's a real fake intellectual you should probably go on ahead and go after. Oh yeah. That's right. He's an old nigga and he's Democrat. So I don't think that's coming anytime soon.
Oh my God, it fucking hurts! Goddamn son of a bitch!
Yeah, and he's gonna flee. He's gonna flee in classic fashion to his panel, his sycophants, and his audience, as he always does. He flees, almost like them Haitians, whatnot. That's what Pan-Africanists get you. But I land my plane there.
Spot on. And you know what? That's the piece with Roland. Everybody's responding to it. But since we bringing it up about so this must be a talking point that's being disseminated from the Democratic Party, because Roland just repeated it. But this is where I heard it first. This Gerald Gabo, and she's a Family Services Institute founder and CEO, who is also Asian. This is where I heard this talking point first.
You got unmuted.
Yeah.
You guys can't hear that?
No, we can't hear it.
All right, hold on.
Why are they eyes always so fucking far apart? Is it lack of nutrition?
Nah. Let me do it again. They kicked my audio out. Hold on.
Okay.
F you, StreamYard.
Great, because we are the one who built it. This is the time for all of us to raise our voices and to say this country is also our country, is also the country of our immigrants, because we are the one who built it. This is the time for all of us to raise our voices and to say this country is also our country, is also the country of our immigrants, because we are the one who built it.
Yo, that's where I heard that first, and Roland just repeated it. So, what did the fucking Haitians build here? Did they fight World War I, World War II, Korean War, Civil War, War 1812? What are we talking about? Revolutionary War. What are we talking about?
You know what, man? These people, Gabe was laughing at me last week when somebody asked me would he get deported, and I was like, I don't know how good his chances are getting deported, but I do think that with all of the heated rhetoric and all of the disinformation and gaslighting by certain immigrant groups, that you might see some type of internet, some type of violence. And he tried to laugh the shit off. But when you see shit like this, I want y'all to keep sight of this. Leading up, even though the enmity went back more years, even perhaps millennia, leading up to the Balkans War, right? Leading up to the Balkans War, the rhetoric was actually more timid than this, and yet it was still enough to send all of those different ethnic groups to war against each other.
Facts.
So don't lose sight of that. These people are painting themselves into a corner. If I was one of them, I would just sell all of my shit and leave. I would sell all of my shit and leave while I still can.
I have never underestimate the capacity of Americans to become violent.
Yeah.
Collectively.
Yeah.
Like that's how the West was won, and the frontier, etc. We've just, and like, let truth be told, I mean, us right here on the panel and stuff, we had the towers, and we had Iraq, but honestly, up until we was born, America, it was just wars decade after decade. World War I, you know what I'm saying? It's nonstop.
Yeah.
So like that's how we roll. Mr. O, you want a piece of this?
They love to go ahead and tell us all the things they build. they tell us how great their people is. They so esteem about what they have accomplished. But when we search AI, we use this thing called the internet, and we actually research and try and find these things, and we can't find nothing. Then they go ahead and call us xenophobic. They go ahead and tell us that y'all just don't want us to partake in this country. Y'all xenophobic. I came over here with just $5 and in a dream. I made something myself. You shouldn't be all yeah. We hear all that bull crap. Yo, what y'all gonna do when the last one of y'all is round up and y'all going back to y'all country? The only thing y'all got sacred about y'all is soccer, and y'all got put out of that too. So I'm just trying to figure out what makes y'all the bee's knees of the whole black diaspora. And with which I'm gonna keep on talking about that damn bumble tea, that damn mug cookie, and so I think you gave them a great idea about making mug croissants. I think they're gonna take down and run with it. I'll land my plane there.
Yeah, like I said, this is the first person I heard say that, and like I said, when I heard Roland say it, I said, this must be the new talking point they're pushing, coming straight down from the RNC. Revisit, rewrite history of Black America. Yo, spot on. That's what I'm saying. We're not having it. So that's TCPS. Tito did an extensive stream on it earlier this week. I believe I did share it on the community tab. And I can do it again. We're at the 1 hour 17 mark. I do want to get into the Democrat Civil War, but I got to do this. I got to do this segment for the public record. Tony Brown passed away recently at the age of 19. I'm sorry, at the age of 93. He was born in 1933. Tony Brown. Tony Brown's Journal. I grew up watching that with my dad. When my father's incarcerated, so before he went down, and I watched it a lot thereafter. It Tony Brown, quality journalism. He's interviewed everyone from Ronald Reagan till everything in the current zeitgeist of what was going on at the time, and then I'm gonna play a clip here. Shout out to Passport OG. He did a segment on him today, so I'm actually going to play a clip from that. But public television initially, and I was saying to Saul the other day that how Tony carried himself, his level of professionalism, how prepared he was, the intelligent questions that he asked to drive a conversation, his ability to get proper context and nuance with whatever subject he was interviewing and stuff. We grew up seeing images like that, and then a large part has shaped some of our perspective with regard to journalism. I believe when Art Newstall was here several Sundays ago, I was saying at one point, actually, many people, not only myself, many people wanted to be journalists because it was looked at as a noble profession, in particular the investigative journalists, because they were always getting the scoop and exposing something, exposing corruption in the government, such and such. So yeah, Tony passed away, and I wanted to just cover a piece. I did a couple posts to the community tab, what have you. Send me in. What up, Playboy? He said Tony was not afraid to deal with difficult issues and would often challenge the zeitgeist. He will be missed. Spot on. I agree. Yeah, my sentiments exactly. So once again, shout out to Passport OG. He did a segment on Mr. Tony Brown today, the Honorable Mr. Tony Brown. So let's play a little bit. I want to do this one for the public record in a timely manner, as it were. Bang. Hold on. Let me close this. StreamYard, you just be making it difficult, StreamYard.
Budget for these schools. There are people in this country, however, who seriously believe, black and white, that black people cannot learn unless they're with white people.
Yeah, I think that was described best by the Black State Superintendent of Education of the state of California, my good friend Wilson Riles, when he said this idea that a black child can't learn unless they're sitting between two white kids is demeaning and humiliating. And I think he's absolutely right. The black colleges, I know it sounds inconsistent. We should be saying, well, if we're talking about non-segregation in the other colleges and universities, why should we be specifically helping these? Well, in the first place, the black colleges do not restrict. White students are permitted to enter there if they want, but they are predominantly black. But there is a very rich heritage. There is a symbolism in them, and the contribution that they have made, not only to the blacks who've graduated, but to the whole of society, the people that have come out of them. I think it is well worthwhile in our government helping those colleges.
General Daniel Chappie James, a Tuskegee graduate and member of the 477th Bombardment Group, was the first black to receive the rank of 4-star general in military history. Years later, he would reflect on his Tuskegee training.
No, it was in 1943 that I completed flight training at Tuskegee Institute, Alabama. We've come a long way since then. In the early days at Tuskegee, in addition to the already difficult job of flying, we trained under the additional pressures of segregation. But we had no time for self-pity or despair. We were too busy preparing ourselves for a career of service to our nation. The state of our fully integrated Air Force today is a pretty good indication that we did a good job. But that doesn't mean that the future will be a rose garden, or that there will not be other obstacles to overcome. Freedom must be repurchased by every new generation.
So I think that we need to get out of that mold of being a black leader and opt for the whole piece of the pie because it's out there. The main key to success therein is preparation in a given discipline or the versatility to be able to be a master or well-informed over a certain field of disciplines. So they have more, find it more and more difficult to say, I wanted one, but I can't find one that's qualified. I wanted one, but I can't find one that's qualified. Unfortunately, too often today that's true because the people that are qualified and that are ready, they'll find that those doors are open. Another quote from my mother, she said, don't stand there banging on that door of opportunity, yelling, let me in, let me in, let me in. And all of a sudden somebody snatches open the door and you say, wait a minute, I got to go get my bags. She said, you stand there armed with your bags of knowledge, your bags of understanding, and your bags of desire. And when they crack that door, step in and take charge. Well, you can do that now.
A new book is shaking the very foundations of thought on the causes of poverty and underachievement. It strikes home particularly hard in America, where group ethnic and racial identity are strong. In The Economics and Politics of Race, Dr. Thomas Sowell says that Chinese, Jews, and Japanese are overachievers, and blacks, Puerto Ricans, and Mexicans are underachievers. And it's all due to culture. I'm Tony Brown. In a moment, the ethnic flaw. The Economics and Politics of Race. Dr. Sowell, you have written what I consider to be one of the most exhaustive statements I have ever seen on an awfully complex subject. I'm really not sure that I understand it that thoroughly, so let me begin by trying to get some general understanding. Are you saying that in a culturally pluralistic society such as America, are you saying that the variable in success or lack of success is the culture of the particular group?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm saying it not only for the United States, but in terms of the studies of various other countries around the world, the same thing seems to be true. You not only find the same group having the same characteristics in country after the country. That is, the Germans produced the first pianos in Australia. They created the piano industry in the United States. They built the first pianos in England. They built the first pianos in Russia. You look at the Chinese, what they major in Malaysia in college is what they major in the United States in college.
Namely.
All right. I just wanted to get a nice context window for a conversation and also to watch Tony Brown work. Saul, we talked about this earlier about Tony Brown. You said you used to watch Tony with your pop as well. And then also they had the first 5-star general who was with the reference to Tuskegee. So I'm going to let you take it at the top. What say you, sir?
Salute to General Chappie, by the way, he's Cap Outside member, brother. But as far as Tony Brown, somebody look up to, somebody who actually exudes. Actually, a lot of the mission statement of our channel, believe it or not, a lot of inspiration we've taken from him. To be honest with you, from the empiricism, the collaboration, and obviously actionable steps, man. He to me is actually one of the last Mohicans of one of those brothers out there, who you would actually look up to, pretty old school, pretty traditional or whatnot. And a sad story that what would become his sons and daughters is nothing but a waste of a generation and all of their, would you say, zeal and selfishness or whatnot, but not to go that route or take it too negatively or whatnot. But I would say that this one is somebody who fully fulfilled and achieved, and their time has came. They lived their life to the fullest. You know what I mean? They did everything they could do possible, to epitomize. Would you say prime black male masculinity? To the utmost. So salute to him, his life, his career, his contributions, his family, or whatnot. I don't see it as a loss. I just see it as it's just this time that the Lord has called him, and the only thing we could do is continue to try to exude some aspects of his legacy, man. So salute to Tony Brown and everybody else that he's inspired, man. So yeah, I'll land my plane there.
All right, well played, sir. Tito, you want a piece of that?
Yeah, I always remember Tony Brown from when I was a kid. That's kind of a bygone era of, at least apparently from the outside, impartial journalism in the spirit of people like him, the McNeil and Laird News Hour, people like that, man.
Laird, yup.
Yeah, that's the old days. I actually used to watch all of them when I was a kid. But I used to in particular like watching Tony Brown, and I forget the black guy that was on 60 Minutes. I used to like watching them because they seemed very unflappable and sublime while they were interviewing some of the the biggest political figures and even historical figures, you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And they to me, they defined like I say, a bygone era of journalism that'd be sorely missed. And I'll land my plane there.
Well played. Mr. O, all yours, sir.
R.I.P. Mr. Brown. I'm not too familiar with his work. I'm a millennial. He was around my time. I think the early '90s, but I was a little tadpole myself, so I probably didn't get a chance to actually experience Mr. Brown. But from YouTube videos and stuff, I'll be looking on the archives, and especially old stories involving the inner cities of New York, Chicago, and California. I think I seen a segment he was talking about Compton of back in 1972. I was looking up for research purposes. His style and his is much needed and very was put together, I might say so myself. He kind of inspired other journalists that probably took his similar path, and I might have to know them. They probably got from Mr. Brown. It's his way to do journalism is actually the right way of journalism, no biases. He wants to go ahead and ask the hard questions and don't care about what the answer is. He don't try to make it PC. He don't try to dumb it down for the so-called NPCs out there. He wants to get down to the nitty-gritty just like the rest of us. So I respect him for that. And a great journalist has passed away. Now, that's all I'm going to say about that. I land my plane there.
Bill Bradley, that's who you was talking about, right, Tito? Tito?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Bill Bradley. Yeah, Universal. Salute the Universal Black. All right, but you know what? All right, we'll just make it. We're at the 1 hour 30-minute mark. We got room for one more segment. Let's do Democrats starting to eat themselves. Ongoing civil war. We got flat out freaking communists taking over New York. Mondani's candidate won, and she's a whack job. And it looks like I think what they call on the hot mic was Hakeem Jeffries, you're next. So they're coming at it from Cory Booker. Like I said, and if these far lefties are trying to primary incumbent Democrat candidates, et cetera, I say we're all for it. I haven't done a news desk in a while by the numbers, but the last I checked, we're back down to somewhere between 10 to 12 seats in contention, which is a huge decrease from where we were several months ago. So all is not lost yet. We may still be able to pull off something in the midterms. We got a couple months. I already see J.D. Vance making his rounds with the liberal media and making tremendous inroads. The man's got the media touch of gold. He was on The View, and out of Joy Behar's mouth, she says, what? I would vote for J.D. Vance. Joy Behar. J.D. Vance was just recently on Bill Maher. Bill Maher says, I would vote for this guy. So yeah, we may still have a chance. We're 50-50, maybe 60-40. We'll see how it goes. Simeon Toko says, I love watching. Yeah, the Dems implode. It's wonderful. It's a goddamn freak show. I tried to warn them when they let the freaks and geeks take over leadership. Oh, well, International Quiet Storm. I spell desperation for the midterms, facts, and oil prices are coming down right in time. Which, another thing, we do not get oil from Iran, Porter. Those inflated oil prices, market manipulation to pressure Trump to stop his aggressions against Iran. We won't even get into that, but things are playing out the way they're playing out. That's for another day. Let's watch some of the Democrat implosion happen. We might actually even have time, if it's not in this montage, to watch James Carville crash out as well. So we'll see. We'll try and get one solid round robin on this, and if need be, we'll pick up on this again. We'll revisit this next Sunday. Is my volume up? Yes, it is.
Republicans are going to make you the poster child for the Democratic Party.
Let them. We don't have to ask ourselves what life looks like if a socialist wins. I won last November, and over the course of these last 6 months, what we've delivered for working people are the very things we were told were impossible. We've delivered free childcare for 2-year-olds for the first time in New York City. We've delivered tens of millions of dollars back to tenants who were taken advantage of by bad landlords. We've delivered 165,000 potholes being paved. And we've done all of these things while also delivering the lowest recorded crime in our city's history. That's what it looks like to have democratic socialism. And what you're seeing is that New Yorkers experienced this for 6 months and made the decision that they wanted to see more of it on the national stage as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zoran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like. I'm not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic Socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it.
So we got to continue our coverage of the socialist takeover of the Democrat Party, as Democrats are struggling with the fact that the same monster that they created, the people they decided to get in bed with because they want to stop Trump, right? They feel as if communists, okay, they have more in common with them than Trump. Those same people are now eating the Democrat Party, right? They're taking over the Democrat Party. Zohran Mamdani is now the leader of the Democrat Party, a flat-out socialist, in their quest to turn our country into Europe, okay? They want to turn us into the UK. They want to turn us into France, into Spain, into Germany. They want to turn us into countries that are not as great as our country, right? That is what they want to do, okay? So we got to talk about this because, again, Democrats are being confronted by the liberal media on the takeover. And let's just say Democrats aren't handling this too well, as they're now being booed and heckled by the same people that they chose to get in bed with in order to stop Trump. Like, for example, Joe Biden, who was the former president. He got heckled and booed on stage at a recent speech by, again, these communists, these socialists that are taking over the Democrat Party. Take a look.
I know the Democratic Party. I fought for my whole life. I'm still fighting for it now. That's why I'm here tonight, to support Maryland Democrats. And that's why I traveled to South Dakota, South Carolina, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, fighting for Democrats up and down the ballot and all over this country, just like I've done my whole life. I know the story of the Democratic Party. I've seen it times of triumph and trouble. Because I've lived it, I also know the story of America, like many of you. It's a constant push and pull between peril and possibility. It's a battle. And we went into it. Every single time we come out stronger than we went in. Time and again throughout our history, we Americans have some of the better angels of our nature, brought our country back from the brink. I believe with every fiber of my...
Let's meet Daria Lisa in her own words.
Thank you, everyone.
She won't stand by Kamala Harris.
Okay, let's get to business.
She won't stand by Joe Biden. She even called him a rapist. She won't stand by veterans or the American flag. She stands with dividing us by race. Meet the real Daria Lisa, the one she tried to delete.
So to be clear, Senator, that was an attack ad from a fellow Democrat. You've talked about this bigger tent. If you're saying the Democratic Party needs a bigger tent, does that include someone who called a former Democratic president of the United States a rapist?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not super familiar with that race. All I'm saying is that this party has to have a real contest of ideas.
Mamdani said those victories prove that the DSA has a durable movement. Among the positions that these candidates have advocated for are ending all support for Israel, ending prisons, ending police, no borders. Now, you've worked hard to be a progressive who can represent all of Georgia, all of a purple state. Are you worried at all about the impact that
he looked mad surprised
these positions of some DSA members could have on the Democratic Party's ability to win a majority in November?
Jake, I have to tell you that if I were a Republican this morning, I would be deeply worried because they're having an argument about who is the most loyal to Donald Trump. We are a big tent party focused on the ordinary concerns of everyday Americans.
You talked about the Republican Party. What about the Democratic Party? We've seen this shift to the left that has happened, whether it's in the New York Democratic primaries, the Maine Democratic primaries on the left. Collins is very much trying to tie you to the leftward shift in your party. Are you personally concerned at all about what we're seeing in the rise in the left this election cycle?
Here's what I think we're seeing across the country, and it's happening in both political parties. We are seeing a growing revulsion at the corruption of an entrenched political class that, especially since the Citizens United decision opened the floodgates to limitless secret corporate funding of politics.
All right, shut up, you moron. All right, Saul, this is your segment. I wanted to give you enough context window. Saul, yours.
I'm glad for this gift. I don't know why or what the circumstances or what the situation is. Let's just say that they were already there. People have already been calling it out. I mean, I guess they've owned it now. You know, I guess maybe the mainstream Democrats thought that they could broker some sort of simping and pandering deal with them, and maybe the socialists felt like, oh well, we don't need you anymore. It is entirely hilarious. But I guess the flashpoint in all this, gentlemen, just so you all can look her name up, is Chevrolet out of New York, who made comments that were, particularly incendiary against black men who obviously date Becky's or whatnot, Arab men too. Okay. She is Dominican, born in Dominican Republic, raised in Florida, and fled her ass up north to New York. Okay. Elite university ties, Columbia University, obviously pro-Palestine and everybody else, but anybody Black American. Now, given that we have a profile here, okay, I want to get just some guesses from the chat. What do you think this black female is? If you all had to guess, what type of black female is? I think we already know the types that we've kind of combat with here online. You all mind typing in? What you all hunch here? Who's leading this socialist charge? Let's see if any takers. Okay. Well, it's exactly who we think it is. It's those digesters. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, that too, Quiet Storm, 100%. But they're virtually one and the same. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, hey, and the first people they're targeting, if you obviously notice, it's obviously black men. All those simping and pandering, from a political standpoint, they somehow or another thought that they were immune. Somehow or another thought that, you're punching down on women, you're doing this and that, and got themselves caught by the nuts. You know what I mean? And I'm here for it or whatnot. In fact, I wish there was a strategy in which we could, think of so that we can kind of add fuel to the flames. Let them outdo each other or whatnot. Most of America is common sense anyway. So let them cannibalize each other. But thanks for the gift. I'll land my plane there.
Senator McCarthy right now is rolling over in his grave. Dan Smoots, another great journalist of the Caucasian kind, basically was warning us about this very day nearly 70-some years ago. These are traitors to the Constitution. You cannot tell me that these individuals that swear up and down they fight for democracy, yet they want to go ahead and censor people's speech. They want to basically take and confiscate people's properties, even the so-called property owners themselves, and redistribute the so-called wealth of the very rich people that they commingle with on a daily effing basis. Don't get it twisted. The socialist communists of today, along with the feminists of yesteryear, are nothing more than bored socialites that ain't got nothing else better to do than cause chaos. These particular individuals get so bored and get so self-righteous that they got to step off their damn high horse and believe and think they belong with the people, when in actuality they mock the people. They'll tell you you get free this, free that, and then you wonder why you can't afford this and can't afford that. double language, double speak. The only time, only time you can actually understand communism is when the capitalists got to keep on funding it until they get broke. That we all socialists. Yeah. And go ahead and I know history ain't none of these people's favorite subject. They don't like the social sciences of yesteryear in elementary school and high school when they had to go ahead and study and learn about the Soviet Union, not Russia. They had to learn about Italy under Mussolini. Yeah, they didn't learn about fascism either. All they want to talk about a small mustache man over there in Germany, even though they want to call him a Nazi. When we break down what the word Nazi means, it means National Socialist. Y'all do know that the small mustache man got majority of his ideas from so-called Jim Crow racism of the South. But y'all so open-minded. Y'all want everybody to go along, get along. So y'all want to separate everybody at the same time. I'll have to land my plane here. The only time you can convince so-called communist or socialist that wants to be a communist socialist, just ask them how far can you bend over? Can you make your knees touch your elbows, or can you grab your ankles? Because you're going to get fucked. And I'll land my plane there.
All right, that was a hell of an ending. All right. Tito, that's all yours, man.
Yeah, to piggyback off what he said, if you've ever noticed, they try to avoid the accurate teaching of history. I've even seen some middle school and grammar school textbooks that completely omit the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917. I'm dead serious. That they don't even start talking about the Soviet Union into the Cold War, or they just pick up that part of history with Stalin and Roosevelt and Churchill meeting, deciding to drop the bomb in World War II. But they kind of like in between the Battle of the Somme and the League of Nations, they intentionally omit that, and they intentionally omit that because they don't want you to be able to go back and connect and see that the October 1917 revolution is kind of like in the plans of what the Democrats and the communists do today. Like when they talk about healthcare is a right and all of that, that's actually ripped straight from the Soviet Union Constitution, right? But that's why they try to avoid teaching the history accurately, or especially that era history, because then they have to come back to the question of, well, wait a minute, if communism is so great, why didn't it work there? If communism is so great, why didn't it work here? And they always have these bullshit ass gaslights and excuses about how, that wasn't true communism, and well, they didn't do it right. But it's like, I always pose a question to communists. Instead of all of these long drawn out plans, right? Instead of all of this fucking skullduggery, instead of all of this sloganeering and making yourself look crazy in the street and all of this shit and repetitively chanting the same thing. If y'all want the fucking means of production so bad, don't you just want to skip around all of that shit with a good idea, a LLC filing, and a pool of investors? Because then you will be able to directly, you will own the means of production. You will have your own means of production. I always ask far left is that, and I've never got a fucking answer. I'll land my plane there.
All right, excellent. Well played. Gentlemen.
I want to add a little, if you okay with it.
All right, we got a wrap in 7 minutes.
Okay, just real quick. Just don't forget that communism is really about keeping black men out of the market. Don't forget that. I'll land my plane there.
No, facts. Kwame said, don't forget Cuba. Yeah, Cuba's a living example. That's what I'm saying. In terms of failed experiments for these ideologies, We don't have to speculate. Look at every country where it's been enacted, and it only can be enacted under the bloodshed and standing on the on bodies. And then even with that, what's built on top of it is money all the way at the top, and everyone else starving in terms of resources, lack of infrastructure, etc. Look at Cambodia. They killed 2 million people to make it work, and it still didn't. Pol Pot. All right, guys, we're at the 1 hour 50-minute mark. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us for this 2 hours. Let's get these closing statements, get the hell up out of here. And for everybody that missed the top of the show, we already responded to the ridiculous BGS stream. And if you guys haven't seen the entire stream of the BGS was right, don't worry, neither have we. But once again, here is a 12-second summary of the entire stream.
Oh! 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 Oh my God! It fucking hurts! Goddamn son of a bitch!
All right, Mr. O, that's all you. You got 2 minutes.
All right. You know, these old colleges, like who I believe he's a communist, leaning socialist. We gonna wrap all this up in one what's the name? We're gonna tie in the old colleges, socialists, and these so-called quiches. They all think alike. They want to go ahead and have the last hoorah before they ride off to the sunset, before everything fails. You know what I'm saying? All three of them. They want free health care because they can't make the best decisions in their lives. They want all this people to go ahead, contribute, and trickle down the wealth from so-called people that bust their ass, make it in America, which is a capitalist country. They want them people to go ahead and just look out for the people that basically want to stab it, put a knife in their back, want to tell them they all type of isms, and they want to go ahead and say, after all that, they want to be like, but I was just planning to give me a couple $100. That's socialism, communism, that's terrorism, that's old niggerism, and that's quicheism rolled up in one philosophy. I will land my plane there.
Thank you, sir. Saul, that's all you. 2 minutes.
Hey, just remember this channel is about not teaching you what to think, giving you the tools to think for yourself, make your own analysis. Hey, we were chat people just like you. We were subs just like you. We just wanted to exact some sort of change, some sort of imprint. A lot of the stuff that's, affecting your lives and stuff like that, we have a stake in. Just like you have a stake in it too. We're nobody any special or better or anything like that. We understand that not everybody wants to sit on a panel or behind a mic or anything like that, and that's cool, right? But does it mean that we should curate and exercise and arbitrate, be the arbiters of information? We take all of what's there, and we understand that there's different people with different talents and stuff like that, and we go from there, man. We're supposed to be the sum of all the talent and the hopes and wishes of Black men, no matter who you are. As long as you a Black man here in America, and we want to contextualize that as traditional, we here for you. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at with it. There's no Eiffel Tower, man. There's no Eiffel Tower. And we're done with it. We're not gonna be sitting up here beating on the old man day in, day out. He can, go on ahead and, make us a little response. Guess what? We don't care. And we're gonna continue doing what we're doing. And we're gonna continue to provide analysis and stuff like that. And we're gonna continue providing insight or whatnot. Because nobody has a monopoly over, what Black intellectualism is in the space. Nobody. You know what I mean? We rolled out the grand carpet, right? We tried to give you some neutrality and good faith, and we're not going to take sides. So now you want to hit the ref, man. I wish you would find somebody halfway as neutral instead of being a fleedman, fleeing to your panel, leading to your audience, and actually having the balls to have a good faith argument without, any of the bells and whistles. You can't do that, man. You'll just stutter like you always do. I land my plane there.
Spot on. Tito, it's all yours. 2 minutes.
To the last of BGS's acolytes, I will remind you that man is a communist. And so if you ever want to take apart and try to understand whether or not this man has any esteem for you or any care for your guidance or well-being, I will remind you again that he's a communist. And under the system of government that he espouses, racial minorities have always been brutally crushed. Look at the Uyghurs in China. Look at the Montagnards and the Nungs in Vietnam. Look at the Mansi during the Soviet Union. All you have to do is look to and study the history of those groups to know what's in store for you as a so-called black man if communism is ever allowed to spread its slimy tentacles into our government. I'll land my plane there.
Well played. We're at the 156. Salute to my panel, man. Strange things happening in Gotham, Batman. I think we all had the general consensus about this, a bit of kerfluffle this week. Much ado about nothing, as it were. Once again, I guess, sign of the times and the shifting of influence, interest. Like I said, they made a movie about that called No Country for Old Men. Need I say more? Salute to the chat, man. Thanks for hanging out with us at a ridiculous time on a Sunday night, especially if you're on the East Coast. We appreciate you guys tuning in every Sunday about this time. And I think it was apropos we covered Tony Brown this evening, because in some regards, these are along the lines of extensions of some of the stuff that we grew up on, and we're trying to do a bit of a replicate some of that in terms of quality conversation. And I will say this, like we always say, you guys got to make your own goddamn minds up. Like, these Sunday conversations are just what they are, conversations. We talk some things out in public. We tend to agree on some things. When we don't agree, there's some pushback. And you, the recipients in the audience, you get to help think through some of the things that we do in public. But no one's the arbiter of any sort of thought. Everyone's entitled to your opinion. It's a free country. And more than anything, you guys got to do your own goddamn research. And in the age of AI, you already know, man, you're going to have to eat what you kill. All right? But yeah, think for yourselves. Don't be sycophants. More than anything, do not follow dilettantes. That being said, I want to say good night, good luck. We'll see you next time.
Oh my God, it fucking hurts!
Goddamn son of a bitch!
Oh!
Here's another classic. The definition of hip hop. Here's another classic. The definition of